everyone, and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and I'm back with the big update on the car chase saga that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry caused in New York City. Be sure to check out the first part of this video where I expose the entire story and the 5 main lies they got exposed for as the story backfired. In this video, I'm going to talk about Meghan and Harry demanding footage from Backgrid, Backgrid clapping back, new police footage showing that Harry and Meghan's security was actually in the wrong, Meghan and Harry exposed for being cheap, and their staged photo ops. Following Backgrid's initial statement after Harry and Meghan's imagined car chase in New York traffic, Harry and Meghan had the nerve to demand the footage from Backgrid. Their legal team wrote to Backgrid claiming that they need the agency's footage of the chase to support and build their own security, saying, "We hereby demand that Backgrid immediately provide us with copies of all photos, videos, and/or films taken last night by the freelance photographers after the couple left their event and over the next several hours."
Really?
One thing that the statement shows is that Harry and Meghan surely have the audacity. "We hereby demand—"
Shut up!
If there's anything to show how privileged and entitled these two are, it's this statement, where they demand Backgrid to hand over something that belongs to Backgrid. It just shows you exactly what kind of people we are dealing with here. Backgrid hilariously shuts them up by rejecting their demand, saying in a letter, "In America, as I'm sure you know, property belongs to the owner of it. Third parties cannot just demand it to be given to them, as perhaps kings can do. Perhaps you should sit down with your client and advise them that his English rules of royal prerogative to demand that the citizenry hand over their property to the crown were rejected by this country long ago. We stand by our founding fathers." Now that is gold. In classy terms, they said, "Go back to your country if you want those rules here because your title means nothing in America," which is true. And considering Meghan has built her brand on being the relatable American who was just too American, with her American barefooted self meeting the future king in her American jeans with her American sharing of lip gloss with the future queen, you would think that just because they have their little retired titles, she would know that that doesn't mean it's gonna work over here. And this is why Harry is butthurt. No one cares about his title, and just because Princess Diana was a pop icon in America despite her being a British princess, doesn't mean that everyone is just gonna bow down to her highly delusional son and his demands. Mr. The freedom of speech is
bonkers.
And it's safe to say that Backgrid said to them what we've all wanted to say to them. Backgrid also says they had 4 photographers in 3 cars and 1 on a bike, adding that they had no intention of causing any distress or harm as their only tool were their cameras.
The shade!
I love the shade. Their only tool was their cameras. Exactly. Meghan and Harry acted as if the paparazzi pulled a weapon on them. The crazy part is that there is no legal basis for Backgrid to turn over its footage. No lawsuit has been filed that would require the agency to turn over documents, and yet Harry and Meghan had the audacity to make the demand. So much for privacy. Just as we thought the story couldn't get more embarrassing, reliable sources reveal that Meghan and Harry's cheapness made them stay with a friend after the Miss Foundation event, as opposed to staying at the Carlisle Hotel. They supposedly demanded the Carlisle Hotel, which was known as Princess Diana's favorite hotel, surprise surprise, to give them a discounted room for their New York City visit. According to law enforcement sources, bosses at the Carlisle refused the hefty discount, so the embattled pair instead stayed at a friend's house on the Upper East Side.
Damn.
Meghan and Harry claimed that they didn't want to lead the photographers back to their friend's home and reveal where they were staying. However, I think they made the mistake that anyone even cares, considering, as we learned in my other video, they were begging for the chase as they switched over from their fancy security SUV to public transportation in a yellow taxicab as they glared at the cameras with happiness. Speaking of them posing for the cameras, we're also going to talk about that later. A New York City law enforcement source told Page 6 they should have just gotten a hotel for the safety of everyone. Instead, they were cheap and wanted a free place to stay. According to the source, Harry and Meghan's people called the Carlisle ahead of the trip and asked for a discounted room, and the hotel said no. If they had just paid up and got a hotel in the first place, this supposed dangerous paparazzi chase around town would never have happened. They would have been driven back to the Carlisle, been photographed going inside, and that would have been the end of it, said the source. In the past, Harry and Meghan have been regulars at the Carlisle, where rooms go from around $1,240 a night and suites up to $6,000 a night. They also checked into the iconic famous hotel during a visit to New York in 2021 and were seen dining at the hotel's famous Bellman's Bar. But I guess money is running a little tight after all their checks to their publicists to keep them in the papers whilst they sue everyone for keeping them in the papers. Sources are now telling the New York Post that Meghan and Harry chose to have the paparazzi take their photos after they were leaving the event in New York City. The Post wrote that Harry and Meghan made the decision despite having one of Barack Obama's former Secret Service agents on their security team. TMZ writes that Chris Sanchez is the security dude's name, and he's known as the king of back exits because he's so good at keeping celebs under the paparazzi's radar. And that is interesting to note considering that Harry and Meghan did not take the back exit. Instead, they strolled out in the front, smiling from cheek to cheek at all the cameras. Mr. Every single time I see a camera, every single time I hear a click, every single time I see a flash, doesn't seem at all fazed by these cameras. Also, I will be talking more about Chris Sanchez in my next video about rumors of Harry and Meghan separating, so make sure to be subscribed so you don't miss the notification. Now, what's funny is that they arrived through a car rental agency, as you can see here, which was also a bit dramatic considering it was an event after all. But Meghan seems like she practices psychology tricks with the media, so because she entered through a car rental agency, and the paparazzi may have not gotten the shots they wanted, despite the fact that they surely got some shots, as we can see with Meghan's glaring smile here, this will build the demand for paparazzi to make sure to get a shot of the full outfit and her up close after the event, which will make the photos even more excessive as they left. So in my humble opinion, I believe that's why she did that. We know Harry's a puppet that follows along as Meghan controls him with her claw during his full-time job of being her arm accessory, so I can't think of any other reason where they would choose the front exit where the paparazzi is lined up when they have someone known for keeping the paparazzi away and taking the back exit, especially after attempting to have a private entrance into the event. The Post quotes a source as saying, Harry and Meghan were willing to give everyone these shots when they left the event. That was not the problem, but they were tailed from that point on. Literally everything they did is traced back to their obsessive need for attention. Backgrid first called out Harry and Meghan's security when they said, the photographers report that one of the 4 SUVs from Harry's security escort was driving in a manner that could be perceived as reckless. The vehicle was seen blocking off streets, and in one video, it was shown being pulled over by the police. And today, I come bearing the video that has been released. As you can see, the security guard or one of the drivers or whomever has been pulled over by the police, confronting him. The police even sought out the paparazzi's help, saying, "What's going on?" And you can hear one photog saying,
He's crazy right now. Where I'm recording, just FYI, but I'm a paparazzi. I don't know who this guy is, but he's been doing the craziness all day.
And he even thanks the police for pulling over their driver and stopping his reckless driving, who apparently was blocking off streets, and he was the reason for the traffic. Even when the photog tells the cops he's a paparazzi, it's not like the cops fall to the ground and start sobbing and arresting him, as Meghan and Harry probably think the police would react to paparazzi doing their job. The police officer is just like, oh, okay. I've been talking about the relationship between paparazzi and celebrities for as long as I've been running my blog and YouTube channel, which means well over a decade. I've been saying that paparazzi aren't always the bad guys as celebrities like to make them seem, and if anything, the paparazzi help the celebrities stay relevant and make money by photographing them and selling their photos to the media, which keep the celebrity's name in the headlines. You would be shocked at how much money a celebrity spends making sure they stay in the headlines. Meghan is notorious for doing this for as long as she could in Hollywood, with paparazzi even exposing her for tipping them off.
Has Meghan tipped off photographers since she's been with Harry?
I'm gonna have to say no comment.
That says a lot.
Thanks to her and Harry's dramatic recalling of events, mainstream media is basically forced to expose this hidden symbiotic relationship between the paparazzi and the celebrity, with The Spectator writing an article called Rent-A-Pap. Inside the murky relationship between paparazzi and celebrities, the paparazzi can be a star's worst enemies or her best friends. And guess whose photo is under the headline? The author Cara Kennedy did a little experiment where she called a photo agency for a fake client of hers who's moving from London to LA, and they want to increase her public profile, aka Meghan. And the photo agency rep replied saying, "You can text me a location and time when you have it on this number." And that's how easy it is to have the paparazzi alerted of your location. Cara Kennedy writes that the relationship between the paparazzi and celebrity isn't always as antagonistic as the Sussexes would have you believe. Sometimes it's even collaborative. This one section stuck out to me where she writes, "But the Rent-A-Pap trick depends on deception. If the public knows you've called the snappers, the illusion that you're someone worth photographing goes up in smoke." And that's exactly why Meghan and Harry react so harshly when their claims of privacy are challenged. It's not because they are working hard to defend their truth. It's because this has always been about money and them maintaining their image that they're not liars and that their story is worth hearing. Something that is truly going up in flames for them. Well, that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to cover Harry's recent court shenanigans and how he just lost the legal bid. And if you still want the Miss Foundation video, let me know what else you want to see. Like and subscribe for more. Keep those bell notifications on so you don't miss the live chat. And as always, I'll see you next time.